Thank you kindly for joining us on a Tuesday afternoon in downtown Charlottesville. This is the water cooler of content and conversation for Charlottesville, Attleboro, and Central Virginia, the #1 ranked media platform in our community, where we encourage you, the viewer and listener, to shape the show. I mean, think about it. All the content that's out there, where are you, the reader, the viewer, the listener, a part of the program? It's this show. We vet you. It's not every Tom, Dick, or Harry, or every Jennifer, Louise, or Sally. You have to be vetted and trusted, ranked in our family. But once you are, you pass along information to us. We vet it. We consider it for the news cycle, for this show. Then it shows up in the media. I mean, that's how this is working, folks. I want the next 30 minutes to kind of follow that suit. Anything that follows the golden rule, we don't mind being challenged, but it's going to be, challenging us with the golden rule mindset is fair game here. We have Mike Kochis in studio, 30 minutes with Chief Kochis. This is, George Clooney of policing. That's what I've monikered from day one. This guy is made an immediate change to Charlottesville. You can pull out, you can get in a DeLorean and use a flux capacitor and go back. Is it 2 years? You've been on the gig?
3.5.
Gosh.
Time flies when you're having fun, Jerry.
3.5 years. You go back 3.5 years, and you can timestamp the before and after with Mike Kochis, literally, and what's changed in this community. And a lot of it's attributed to him and the police department folks. We back the blue on this program. Judah Wickhauer is behind the camera. Judah, without further ado, I think we welcome a man that is literally a household name in Central Virginia, Police Chief Mike Kochis. Tuesday afternoon.
It's beautiful outside, too.
It's very nice.
Yeah.
Open-ended. Anywhere you want to go to start with a lot of people watching the show?
Wherever you want to go, Jerry.
Okay. How about September 1, the encampment deadline?
Is something happening on September 1?
September 1. Yona Smith says, thank you, Mike Kochis, for everything you do. Wanda Morris, Logan Wells Clay. The ladies love Mike Kochis over here, okay? Ladies, he's married. He's got a beautiful wife.
Yes, I do.
Beautiful wife. I'm going to throw this to you here. Sam Sanders and an Instagram and Facebook reel doubled down on the September 1 deadline. This was published within the last 18 hours on social media. He said the September 1 deadline is in effect. He said we are going to clear Rivanna River and the encampment. He says we're going to move them here. He said there's not going to be around the police supervision or watch. It's not going to be 24/7. And we're mindful of the business district that's around us.
Yeah.
But this is going to move forward. We got an Arizona company that we're paying $4 million smackaroos to. And they're going to run this for us. We feel comfortable with the plan. Where do you want to begin with that?
Well, Jerry, let me say, first of all, that video I thought they did was awesome. I mean, our communications director, Afton Schneider, is just doing an awesome job. And like we were talking about earlier, it's really humanizing the city manager's office and talking about really the nuance and complexities of what goes on there and what they do. Think about this for a second. You remember when the whole Market Street Park thing happened back what, 2 years ago now, right? Something like that. I remember doing a news conference and speaking about some of my frustration about, we're going to blame law enforcement for things like, homelessness and whatnot, and we don't even have a low barrier shelter like most, with wraparound services like most places have. This issue of homelessness has been going on in this city for some time. Way before I got here, way before Sam Sanders got here. And so if you think about where we are today, the progress that has been made, getting there, nobody thought people have to remember, this is an emergency shelter. And it's an emergency shelter because we have an emergency that's happening on the Free Bridge, at the Free Bridge encampment, right? We've had some deaths, we've had some rapes, we've had fires, just the storm, what was it, last week or week before, trees came down on some tents. Like, it's an emergency down there. And so the city manager, he gets things done. And so, look, it's so easy to throw shade at how things are done or what, but I got to tell you, what I see from that office is just a focus on getting things done. And so as for the September 1st deadline, I think the manager's been very clear about that. And so what I won't do is speak to specific operational details,
sure,
for obvious reasons, and how we do things and when and all of that kind of stuff. But that September 1st deadline, on September 1st, anyone there is subject to arrest and prosecution. And so those signs say exactly that, and that has been our charge. And so my hope is that we don't have to make any arrests down there. That's a success for me, I'll be honest with you. So that we can, our service providers that have been down there, I mean, so like Counselor Fleischer, she has been down there every day. I'm not sure where she gets her energy from.
I heard that.
Like, it's impressive to watch. I'll be honest with you. Absolutely. Yeah. And they're down there, getting people driver's licenses, getting folks, things that should have been done, quite frankly, a long time ago.
Sure.
Right? And so, yeah, man, just seeing a lot of good work going on down there in a tough situation. And that shelter will be stood up as an emergency shelter and then transition into that low barrier shelter, which will then complement the transitional housing that's going to be coming online shortly thereafter over there.
Yep.
Right? And so it's just one rung to that ladder that the manager keeps talking about.
We'll play Sam Sanders and the Afton Schneider Facebook and Instagram reel later in the show. John McGuire, the congressman, who's seeking a second term.
I'm going to, like you talked about, politics ain't my thing, and nor will it ever be.
Okay.
Really disappointed in that letter.
With John McGuire's letter?
Yeah, I thought it was not nuanced.
Okay.
And the issue down there is nuanced.
Yep.
It was offensive to all the great work that our law enforcement officers have been doing over the last several months on Holiday Drive, right? Like, we've done a CPTED assessment down there, with crime prevention through environmental design, look at different things and ways we can make the area safer, everything from lighting to overgrown bushes, all of that stuff, right? I've assigned a captain as a liaison to Holiday Drive. So a captain within my police departments now has a direct contact to all those stakeholders on Holiday Drive, whether they business owners, whether it be the cast people who are working there, to kind of make sure they're bringing everybody together from a public safety standpoint, and we're addressing issues ahead of time. And so, again, I get it. It's all politics. But it was just like, I read that, was like, well, clearly has no idea what he's talking about. And so there's just a lot going on down there. And I have to explain to my officers, I was like, keep doing the hard work. Don't listen to that noise. Keep doing the hard work. Keep those businesses down there safe, especially on holiday. Just do the good stuff. And that's what we're going to do.
We called it on yesterday's show, Congressman McGuire's letter to Sam Sanders in City Hall, political window dressing. He's in a neck-and-neck fight with Tom Perriello in the 5th District, tighter than anyone anticipated. And he's looking to galvanize some voters by trying to stand up for the business community. The timing of it was odd, considering we're
6 days away.
Right. I mean, Judah made the point yesterday, if this was months ago, maybe it's a little bit more genuine, but we're 6 days away. Is there going to be around the clock police? I mean, where are we going to go with the holiday driving?
So look, first of all, I don't have enough cops to do round-the-clock policing everywhere in every neighborhood, right? We adjust our resources based on what's happening and where it's happening and when it's happening, right? And so it just depends. We sit every month through our CompStat meetings and we look at the data, say, okay, we need to adjust the deployment of our resources to here or there and whatnot. So there will be some police presence in different areas at different times depending on when it's needed and what's needed. And so, I've been asked that about the 24-hour thing down there, and, not right now. We'll assess it as things happen. And I would also say this, just because there's an emergency shelter there doesn't mean it's going to be some drastic increase in crime. I'm not sure the data supports that.
Okay. Devil's advocate, sake of a talk show.
Mm-hmm.
It was a hot spot, Freebridge, and the encampment.
Mm-hmm.
There was an uptick in crime.
In 2 weeks we had 2 specific sexual assaults.
Yeah.
Pretty bad ones.
Yeah. And that was a hot spot. The causation or the correlation is it will follow wherever the folks go. And the concern from the business community, especially around the Holiday Drive shelter, is if it's there, why wouldn't it come here?
Well, because the environments are different, right? I mean, you're talking about an outdoor environment in a floodplain, and there's no rules in that encampment, right? I mean, folks are just out there doing all kinds of stuff, and we're talking about going to an organized place. There are rules. Okay? I mean, low barrier doesn't mean no barrier, right? There are going to be rules there. And, we're talking about being out in the woods, right? People may not have the ability to call police if something's happening. And that's why we've had to put resources down there, just to make sure that if something happens, we can't see it, specifically a fire, right? We got to be able to say, where's that fire happening? We know where to respond, So that's been the real challenge of the encampment and why we've put resources down there so that when we do have to go, we don't, because you get a 911 call, they say the encampment, well, is it this part of the encampment, that part? There's no address. There's an address at Holiday Drive, right? There's addresses all through there. Like, we know where we're going. We know what's happening. So it's just two very different environments.
Can you pull from your experience at Market Street Park with disbanding the encampment at Freebridge? Because the Market Street Park disbandment that you did was one of the first activities, and I'm not even sure it should have been the police in that scenario, but you rose to the occasion and then some. I think that's when the community realized, oh my gosh, this dude's legit. This is the right hire. Mm-hmm. And you had pizzas. You were like,
I'm from Jersey. Pizza solves everything.
You were clearing the encampment with pizzas.
We were.
And
yes.
kindness. Yeah. And respect. Is that a similar path?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, so it comes down to relationships, right? Like, these are all real people, right? The folks down there at the encampment are real people with real issues and real stories. I'm going to tell you right now, we know the story of everybody down there, okay? And we have relationships with folks down there. And so, some of them will call me on my cell phone, right? Or text me about something, And so I do feel confident that when it comes down to it, if we walk up to a tent and say, hey, you got to go, let's go. We'll bring you to where you want to be. And that's the other piece of having that shelter there. Jerry, we get called to businesses that might have somebody sleeping in their alley or in their doorway. Right now, when we go and they want them moved, we say, shush, move on, right? Now we can say, hey, we got a place to go. If you want to sleep, let's go. Get in, we'll bring you to the shelter. And so, again, it comes back to answer your question, absolutely yes. Everything that has been done down there over the last few months has really been impressive. Misty Graves, with our human services director, she's just knocked it out the park. She has just been doing tremendous work, building relationships down there. So this is bigger than Market Street Park. This is a little bit more complicated, right? But I think the same applies, man. You treat people as you want to be treated, no matter what their situation.
100%. The golden rule. Perfect segue into the no camping and storage of possessions ordinance.
Yeah.
These are my words. I think they're fair and on point. Be very straightforward here. I thought City Council did a disservice to this community, not approving an ordinance that banned the sheltering in public places, the camping in public places, and the storage of possessions. I really thought they did disservice to your police department, and I really thought how that meeting was handled, where you presented on their behalf what this ordinance would look like. They did a disservice to you by not saying, look, it was us that said for Chief Kochis to present this to us. And that's when some folks in this community try to paint it as criminalizing homelessness, which it absolutely was not. My follow-up question to you, without the ordinance from council that bans public camping and the storage of possessions, are we not fearful that the Freebridge encampment is just going to matriculate downtown or elsewhere?
I mean, I think it could, right? Going back to that meeting, first of all, I didn't think that meeting was that bad. Like, being yelled at, whatever, that's just whatever, right? But yeah, it's a challenge because on the mall, our officers are called to address all kinds of things down there, and they have very few legal mechanisms to do that, especially when it comes to camping on the mall or the storage of your personal items. So it is a very difficult situation our officers are in when it comes to the mall specifically. I won't get into my conversations with council members because I don't think that's appropriate, but I could tell you that they are trying to be very thoughtful about that topic. They are really, they're talking about it, but again, that is their decision and their decision only. That, look, the last thing you want is a cop writing laws, okay? That's not my job, nor should it be. Council, they're the ones that write laws, they're the one that pass ordinances, and so, we'll see. It's my job to give them my best advice, right? And they have to take my advice with everyone else's advice around them. and make a decision. And I respect that. They just have to know that these are, I'm just going to give you balls and strikes. These are what we can do. These are what we can't do. And that's it. And so, but it's a tough situation for us.
Is your advice to green light the no camping ordinance?
So again, I'm not going to tell you what my advice to council members are in private. That's not appropriate.
Okay.
But again, it's, council gets to set the tone.
Yeah.
Right? And so, and then we have to adjust as that tone is set.
Comments come in. Hank Martin's photo on screen, handsome Hank. As I've previously stated, Chief Kochis is more akin to General Patton than George Clooney in my book. My compliments to modeling leadership. Mike Kochis embodies that. He says, I wish Charlottesville City Council would use the template that Richmond, Hampton, and Virginia Beach utilize in regards to camping, loitering, and trespassing. If they did, so much could have been avoided. I'm of similar mindset, handsome Hank. I can ask you this here. Mm-hmm. Probably the only spot in Charlottesville City where the houseless population could camp is the only spot downtown, the mall.
I mean, there may be a few others, but I don't want to get into
we don't want to,
of where.
Right.
Yeah. Mm.
It's the mall. It's like and since this deadline has been imposed of September 1, you know this better than I do. You got your pulse on the community through your officers. There's a greater presence downtown.
Yes, there is. I've seen more folks down there recently.
So the city councilors that are watching the show, Chief Kochis has shown you nothing but the utmost respect. My words would be please do the no camping ordinance and the no sheltering possession, because you now have the interim shelter where you can send folks to. Before, I get it, you did it, now you do. Mm-hmm. And you're spending a lot of money on it. Please, let's utilize it. We'll segue with lower thirds on screen to Hardy Drive. Open-ended question.
Yeah.
We've had a spate of trouble on Hardy Drive. What's going on?
Yeah, so look, let me start by saying this. Most of the folks who live on Hardy Drive are good people. They're not the troublemakers that are doing a lot of this, right? I mean, of all the residences there, you may be able to identify one or two that continue to be what we consider the hot spot within the hot spot, right? When we sit down and look at the data and we see these spots, I'll often ask, like, where is the hot spot within the hot spot? What is that one address? What are those? And so we're trying to identify those things, okay? We continue to see this beef between these two groups, gangs, whatever you want to call them, right? Between the 400 and 800 thing, that is still a thing, okay? And so, we've had the three different evenings last week. Someone had gone up there and just started shooting, and the third incident, a young woman was shot in the leg. Thankfully, our officers got there quickly and were able to put a tourniquet on and get them the help they needed, and so she's going to recover from that, at least as much as she can. Obviously, there's going to be some lasting things, but yeah, it is. It's a complex issue up there. CRHA, we work pretty closely with them. There's video everywhere up there, and so stuff like this happens. We get it pretty quickly, and we're able to put these cases together quickly. So, and I'm encouraged that folks up there call and tell us what they know. That's encouraging. I'm going to
follow up with you here. We just had breaking news from some of our sources hit our inbox. There's a bipartisan group of Albemarle County residents that will hold a press conference on Thursday at 5 p.m. to announce a legal petition to seek the removal of Jack Jewett District School Board Representative Kate Acuff from the Albemarle County School Board. We'll talk about that later in the show. Literally just came across my feed. That will be breaking news that will drive the news cycle locally. More here with Chief Kochis, the 15-year-old female that was shot. We were wondering this yesterday. Is she an innocent bystander?
That is what we understand.
Wow.
At this time, that is what we understand. That she was there. Now, yeah, it was late at night, but
that's what we were also wondering.
I know. And I've gotten that same questions, like, what are you doing out this late? But kids nowadays, when they're 15, if they're out and just hanging out where they live, right?
Yeah.
And just so
our kids wouldn't be doing that at 2.
Well, mine are older, so they sleep till not at 15.
Yeah,
but. It's mine are older, so they sleep till 1 in the afternoon. That's crazy.
Sure. What's the message to the community on Hardy Drive
Yeah.
and what's going on.
Well, gun violence is still a thing. You know, while we've seen drastic reductions in gun violence in the numbers say one thing,
Yeah.
right? But the numbers can't really measure how someone feels, right? I could sit here and say, yeah, we've reduced gun violence, incidents involving gun violence by 51% year over year. Well, if you're living on Hardy Drive, you could care less about that right now, right? It's still an issue there. And why is it happening? And so I've said this before, you know, law enforcement, we are not the solution to all of societal failures. We're a piece of it, right? But the other systems need to do their part. And but those folks who are doing it, they're going to be held accountable. We're going to find who they are. We'll hold them accountable.
You have done a fantastic job when there has been violence of this significance of moving swiftly. Mm-hmm. We saw it most recently we saw it a few times here, but top of mind was the Fifth Street extended shooting at the market at Bel Air?
The Wawa?
The Wawa, that's right.
Yeah, uh-huh.
The gentleman that was an employee over there, Judah knows, wears a bow tie, kind gentleman, struck by gunfire randomly.
Mm-hmm. Just on a break.
On a break. You had, it might have been on Jay's show, or it might have been...
we did a news conference that afternoon.
Oh, it was your news conference.
Yeah.
You had a line that will forever resonate with me. It was a guy on a break that got hit by a bullet on a break, and now he's in the hospital. That is the worst kind of violence possible.
It absolutely is. And I think the community expects us to communicate with them about what's happening and what's going on. We had 3 people shot at a Wawa. That's all people know when they wake up in the morning. And there hasn't been anybody arrested. Oh my God, what's going on? Is there a gunman on the loose, right? Like, so we have to make sure we're pushing information out there effectively, and that it's the appropriate information, right? Like, because my detectives, you got to understand, and I was the same way as a detective. I hated when the chief was pushing out information because I just want to work the case. But as a chief, I understand I got to balance those 3 things. Typically, what I do when I say balance those 3 things, you have the rank and file. I got to communicate with them, right? I have the community, got to communicate with them, and I have the political environment, our governing body, got to communicate with them. So typically, rank and file and our governing body, council, they get the emails first. They get information on what's going on, and then we get it out there to the community as well. Because the last thing I think a counselor needs to hear about something happening before, from the media, right? And so we're really thoughtful about how we communicate, right? Making sure those 3 key stakeholders, we hit all 3 of them, especially on major things. And I think it's important,
Well, I commend you, and we've made this point that, look, it's not the police isn't going to prevent the gun violence, but how they respond to it is their job, and you have risen to the occasion. I mean, you are hitting it out of the park.
Well, let me tell you, Jerry, our detectives. So that's the other piece. We are able to bring some type of closure to these cases pretty quickly, and when you do that, right, it obviously makes the community feel a certain way, right? But it also sends a message that, okay, you may commit these crimes, you're going to be held accountable.
To the would-be criminals. It spooks them.
That's correct.
Yeah.
And I got a rock star group of detectives up there. And a rock star group of officers who at the Wawa are showing up. I watched the body cam of these folks. Jerry, they're putting on bandages and tourniquets. And, I mean, they're saving lives, And, I couldn't be more proud of us. And that's how our folks... That's how we've made the progress we have, just good people.
Patricia Spicer Napoleon gives you props. She says, we are truly blessed to have Chief Kochis in this community. And it's everywhere on the feed here. I mean, Logan Wells Claylow, Tom Stargell, the Golden Apple Award winner, William McChesney, Vanessa Parkhill, Malcolm Inge, Wanda Morris. Hank is continuing to sing your praises. We got every media outlet in town watching you on the show right now. We have Don Gathers giving you some props.
My former neighbor.
That's right. 10th and Page, Don Gathers. He says, I hope it all works out for those who need it with Holiday Drive. He might be a bit dubious here, Don from time to time is a bit dubious in questions. That's why we love you, Mr. Gathers. Yeah. Tremendous respect for you on this program, sir. Sincerely mean that. John Blair is giving you some props right here. 31 minutes into the program, we're mindful of your time. Anything else that we have not covered that we should cover on the show with you, sir?
I mean, look, there's a lot going on, right? There really is, and it's not lost on me the impact a lot of this stuff has on my staff, who are working around the clock, whether it be on Holiday Drive, whether it be at the encampment, whether it be on Hardy Drive. We got football season coming up, right? Our officers are tasked to work a lot of events during that. We just had Wirtland Street this past weekend, 4th of July. It's a lot. It's a lot on our folks from a staffing standpoint, where we are in an awesome place when it comes to staffing. But
you're fully staffed?
Yeah, but it's at it depends on the day. Anywhere between 2 to 3 vacancies. It just depends. But we are in such an awesome position right now. But that's at a 111 number. 2016, I was allocated 130 sworn. Right, and so over the years, we really kind of got rid of a lot of those positions, and so we're going to have a real conversation this budget year about what staffing looks like at CPD.
And for the
because I'm wearing my people out.
I bet you are. I bet you are. For the viewers and listeners, for the media that's watching the show, for the elected officials that are watching the show, for the activists that are watching the show, we are of the mindset that you fund the police. You give the police the resources they want. Let's up the staffing levels. Let's up the pay increases, the bonuses, the take-home vehicles. Approve incentives that allow CPD to live in city limits should they want to help them afford to. We need more police. We need to back the blue here. I'm not going to ever stand on this platform for a movement to take away, because I've been here 26 years and I've seen what that looks like. Morale, and when vacancy rate is, when you took it over, was it 70% when you took it over?
Yeah, 32 vacancies.
Yeah. So
that's
what
a lot.
were you, 60, 65, 70% vacant?
Yeah. It was a lot.
It was a lot.
And
no coincidence. Obviously it was going to happen. At that time, that was a pretty crime-ridden time for the city.
Yeah, remember my welcoming party was at the church. You were there.
I was there.
People were pissed.
Yeah.
There was a lot going on. We had 4 homicides in 3 months.
That's right.
Yeah, it was a lot. But I tell you, the community, that meeting, that's when it really stood out. Like, this community wants to be involved.
100%.
In whether it be the media, whether it be activists, or whether it be whoever. Everyone wants to be involved in solving some of these complex issues. May not always agree, right? Yeah. But folks want to be involved in it, and so that's encouraging to me.
Patrick McAdams, last comment for the chief. He's doing a great job. He does want stronger prosecution. I'll stand up for Joe. I think he's playing Taney. I think he's doing a great job. Jim Hinchley routinely watches the program. I think he's doing a good job.
Joe and Jim are great.
Yeah.
We're lucky in this area to have such great Commonwealth.
100%. I appreciate you.
Yeah, absolutely. Appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you very much for watching the program. Judah, we'll go to one shot, and then thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Jerry. Y'all have a good one.
Thank you. Absolutely. Comments, if I didn't get to them, we're mindful of the police chief's time. We do have breaking news that has come across my inbox. Judah, if you want to put a lower third that's on screen, breaking news, petition to remove Acuff upcoming. This is breaking news if you're watching the program right here. Breaking news on the I Love CVille Show. There is a bipartisan coalition that is galvanized, strategized, and organized to push for the removal of school board member Acuff. A press conference will be held on Thursday, August 27th at 5 p.m. This press conference will seek the legal petition required to remove Jack Jewett, District School Board member, from the Albemarle County School Board. The announcement of a citizen petition under Virginia law to remove Dr. Acuff from her seat in the Albemarle County School Board representing the Jack Jewett District is what is at stake. The press conference will be held on Thursday, 5 p.m. in front of the Albemarle County Office Building. This is breaking news. The rain date is Monday, August 31st. The coalition includes residents from across the political spectrum who share concerns about Dr. Acuff's actions since Mike Sweeney's police investigation began in January. Viewers and listeners, you should be texting, these are my words now, Acuff about what is going on. Acuff knew in the beginning of the year that there was an investigation with Albemarle County Public Schools and the Albemarle County Police Department. She stayed quiet. She did nothing. That silence, these are my words, is not just poor leadership. That silence is malpractice, borderline criminal in my standpoint, and certainly the means and the merit for a petition to remove her from the Albemarle County School Board. Tom Stargell, you watched the program. Viewers and listeners that watched the program, last week, I gave Acuff a deadline of Friday at 5 p.m. This past Friday at 5 p.m. for her to announce her resignation. Acuff did not meet our deadline of Friday at 5 p.m. to announce her resignation. We let her know on the show last week that a petition to remove her from the board would then follow suit. The petition was in the works all last week, through the weekend, and into this week. I know the folks behind the petition, they're not going to mess around. She had a chance to resign on her own accord, and her resignation would have been coupled with Allison Spillman's resignation and would have eventually been forgotten and would not have peppered the forever digital and paper trail. Now that a legal petition is in the works seeking Acuff's resignation, 476 signatures are needed, 10%. I'm sure they'd like to accumulate more. Acuff, probably time for you to lawyer up if you have not already. Acuff, your brand, your professional reputation will now forever be paper trailed and digital trailed as a school board member where constituents and voters pursued your removal from a school board through Virginia Code 24.2-233. This is a story that is gaining significant momentum and will gain even more momentum following this program. School board members watching the show as we speak, I think Acuff is in a world of trouble here. And that trouble is not just leadership negligence, malpractice, borderline criminality. That trouble is the shame that will follow suit of having her name and reputation in the news cycle for an extended period of time. Acuff, this news conference is going to be held on Thursday at 5 p.m. It would seem to me, if you were reading the tea leaves correctly, you have roughly 53 hours to determine if you want to resign before this news conference, because this gets way uglier if you do not. Carol Thorpe is watching the program. She's in the Jack Jewett district. Carol Thorpe says she will sign the petition along with her husband, and she's itching to sign the petition. Share a link, Jerry, on how I can sign. That information coming soon. There's limited details I can reveal now. I did let you know that this was in the works last week, Acuff. I did let you know that last week. You did not resign like we suggested, despite this being in the works. And now, unfortunately, and frankly, deservingly so, we'll weave you in on a two-shot here, Judah. We'll give some attention to Charlottesville Sanitary Supply and Charlottesville Swimming Pool Company. 63 years nearly of service in this community for John and Andrew Vermillion, proudly serving this community with Miele vacuums, with Bono wood flooring, with anything cleaning and sanitary related. Same day in-market free delivery. And they're the swimming pool maestros and virtuosos, anything swimming pool related. I'm being told that Supervisor Acuff is aware of the show and is monitoring what we're saying. We'll two-shot you, Judah Wickower, on the #1 ranked media platform in Charlottesville The petition to remove Kate Acuff has now been announced and the news broken on the I Love CVille show. Judah Wickower, where would you like to go?
Oh, man. It was great hearing from Chief Kochis, as always. He is well-spoken. He is, I think, not anything like what some of the city has painted him. And I appreciate the fact that he's here and looking out for everyone in the city, not just the rich people or the white people or this type of person or that type of person. That being said, Kate Acuff's got to watch out.
Kate Acuff, if you were reading the tea leaves correctly, your resignation in the next 50 hours or so is the right move. The alternative to you not resigning in the next 50 hours, Kate Acuff, and I gave you plenty of heads up that this was going to happen last week. Plenty of heads up that this was going to happen last week, and you did not meet the 5 p.m. Friday deadline. And now what was alluded to and promised, a petition to remove you from the board, is today's reality. In 476 signatures in a bipartisan, across-aisle issue like child sexual assaults at Hollymead Elementary, where an unlicensed social, emotional, and learning coach was pulling his penis out of his pants and placing it in the hands of children while in schools, in a windowless classroom with a door that could be locked, while a walkie-talkie was tracking the whereabouts of authorities and administrators at the elementary school, so he knew how much time he had to do this alleged sexual assaulting, is a bipartisan, across-aisle galvanizing issue. And 476 votes, we could probably accumulate 476 votes on the I Love CVille show tomorrow from the Jack Jewett District. Period, bar none. Facts on facts on facts, Kate Acuff. And I swear to God, Kate Acuff, I will lead that charge. I have an 8-year-old son. I have a 3-year-old son. This is a topic that's been extremely present in our household. My wife, if this had involved our children, she would have gone into that school and terminated Sweeney. Period. And then our family would have had to have dealt with the aftermath of that. Thank goodness they're in private schools. But that's what would have happened. And you knowing at the beginning of the year that this was going on and not doing anything about it is borderline criminal in my standpoint. Certainly lawsuit worthy. And the definition of malpractice, malfeasance, negligence, all the meritable action words that a petition could use to remove you from the board, a group of people. I would lawyer up immediately, and I'm not talking the Albemarle County attorney. That would be a dumb move, because that person is not your best interest in this case. Strategic error, not filing, not announcing your resignation. You have roughly 50 hours before Thursday at 5 o'clock. Judah Wickower.
I don't know how to follow that.
She also questioned the Albemarle County Commonwealth's Attorney's Office and its Chief Deputy, Lawton Tufts, who questioned the Title IX report, the investigation into these alleged sexual assaults, a Title IX report led by the Albemarle County Police Schools. She responded to Tufts' statements that said this Title IX report is bogus by saying that's an unfortunate statement from Tufts. And I'm going to be extremely straightforward. We're at the cusp here in a story that will forever be remembered in Albemarle County. This story will forever be remembered in Albemarle County. This is a story as significant in Albemarle County as what? Segregation and desegregation? Is that the last time we can remember a story that's this significant? A teacher, 11 sexual assault allegations that we know of, certainly more potentially to come, led to the superintendent resigning, the principal resigning, a school board member resigning, and now community members petitioning the removal of another board member. Folks, this is a Netflix horror documentary. Living in real time. Choosing not to resign is someone punch drunk with themselves, intoxicated with self-serving behavior that's kept them on the board for term after term after term, to watch Albemarle County during their time on the board slip from performance, slip from morale, while increasing the cost of living on all of us, because the number one line item on the Albemarle County yearly budget is this public school system. Shame on her. And frankly, shame on the board. Judy Lee's the Rivanna representative where this all transpired. Judy Lee, your resignation should be called for. Rebecca Berlin, chair of the school board, how are you not considering resignation? The only one perhaps that should not resign from my standpoint, Jim Dillenbeck and Bob Beard, because they're 8 months into their school board career. Ellen Osborne, I mean, goodness gracious, you're going to be lumped in with this as well, the Scottsville District Representative. Viewers and listeners, you disagree? Elliot Harding, watching the program, the fantastic defense attorney, he says, this story is Democrats on Democrats. Attacks, Dems on Dem attacks in Albemarle County. This is going to get wild. It is a bipartisan issue. He is absolutely right. You have Albemarle County Democrats going after Albemarle County Democrats right here. This is what the political gutter looks like, viewers and listeners. You want to know what the political gutter looks like? You have a resignation of a school board member that compared a teenage club at Western Albemarle High School to the Ku Klux Klan, then failed to apologize while trying to apologize after making the Ku Klux Klan comparison. That's Allison Spillman. You have Allison Spillman in her resignation speech referenced the I Love CVille show in a proposition bet I had with Judah Wickower over a bottle of scotch on whether she would cry. Then enroll one of her students, not all of them, one of them, into a private school locally. The same school board member that attacked her opponent, Meg Bryce, for having her kids enrolled in private school. Why you should vote for me, Allison Spillman, is because my kids are at ACPS immediately after resignation, enrolled at a private school. That looks like hypocrisy from my standpoint. You want to see what the political gutter looks like? Kate Acuff, so punch drunk with herself, thinks that she is insulated and Teflon protected from a scandal that she knew about at the beginning of the year and did dick for the entire 2026 campaign. She did dick. Nothing. Terrible pun. Awful pun. But it's true. Did nothing. And anyone on this, watching and listening to this show, believe for a second she was the only one that knew? Explain to me how Superintendent Haas does not let Judy Lee, the district representative where this scandal has taken place, know, or the school board chair. Allison Spillman swears on God's name she didn't know. Matt Haas only told one person. That's what we're to believe. Kate Acuff excuses herself, abstains from the vote, asking for Matt Haas's resignation, and then pieces out the back door out of closed session, does not come back into open session. When the board asks for Matt Haas's resignation, Kate Acuff slides out the back door and says, I don't want any part of this. Come on now. What world are we living in here, people? That's not how I raise my kids. That's not how we raise our kids. And these are adults managing 53% of $750 million. The yearly budget for Albemarle County, $750 million. Times that by 0.53. You're talking $400 million.
Yeah.
$400 million. And these are the people that are going to pick the next school board member. Mm-hmm. Yesterday, we told you the rumor mill has the women on the school board, Acuff, Osborne, Lee, and Berlin, going after a former school board member, Steve Kolazar, as Spillman's replacement. This guy's 79 years old, turns 80 in October, marches to the beat of the Democratic Party line, toes it, embodies it, wears it. Replace Spillman with a yes person just so you could continue your cronyism and backroom wheeling and dealing, just like you did with Chandra Hayes as Matt Haas's replacement, his right-hand person getting the promotion after his $300,000 golden parachute? Give me a break. Mm-hmm. And in that bond hearing, in that bail hearing, Judah, where Sweeney's attorney's trying to push for him to get out on bond,
yeah.
We learned an email was sent from Joe McCauley to Mike Sweeney saying, "It is my strong encouragement that you do not meet with students with a closed door. And the one window that you have in your office, which you've blocked with the poster, can you please unblock that window and remove the poster?" Jesus, what are we doing here? Do you understand the principal of Holly Mead, who has since resigned, sent an email to alleged child pedophile to, "I strongly encourage you not to close your door."
Kindly asking.
And kindly ask you to remove the poster that is blocking the lone window of your office, creating a windowless sex den. This is facts on facts, Judah. I mean, what are we doing here? Resign, Acuff, and do it before Thursday at 5. That's the breaking news, which will dominate the legacy media cycle in the next 24 to 48 hours. Patrick McAdams, Albemarle County School Board is cooked. And Patrick McAdams, his photo on screen, Kate Acuff is the person who needed a social, emotional learning coach, not the students. Lightning Fisher 8177 on YouTube. Bulldog them, Jerry. This story is going to go national. Elliot Harding, the defense attorney, it's just a matter of time till the school pays out these families. 100%.
It's been shown that's what they've done in the past.
100%. Acuff, if Kate Acuff hasn't lawyered up, Don Gathers, his photo on screen. Please let's not make this about Democrat or Republican. This is an awful story. It's about the kids. No one should care about the politics. Does it matter if the accused is Dem or Republican? No, it doesn't. He's accused of pedophilia. He's accused of crimes against children. Hank Martin says, "Hear, hear, amen, Jerry. This is why turning school boards into political tribes is reprehensible. One thing that unites us all is protecting innocent children." This is a bipartisan effort, the Thursday press conference at 5 o'clock. I am eager to see, that's a new photo of Don Gathers there. Where'd you get that photo?
I think you sent it to us.
It's a very good one. I'm eager to see viewers and listeners. Well, I should choose my words. I'm eager for you to see. I'm eager for you to see who is a part of this bipartisan effort. And I'm going to tell you, the folks that are a part of this bipartisan effort are the are people that are not going to back down. Deep Throat watching to the program. Folk wisdom. When you find yourself in a hole, stop digging. The Albemarle County School Board, when you are in a hole, yell loudly for someone to bring you a drill. Keep digging deeper and deeper and lunge for the earth's core. What is the school board doing? They're managing $400 million. Look at the judgment that these men and women are showing. Patricia Napoleon, her photo on screen. The Albemarle schools are toxic beyond belief. As a 30-year teacher with Albemarle, I am sickened. Georgia Gilmer, her photo on screen. We definitely need to clean house. If you're just tuning into the program, the breaking news, there's a petition to remove Kate Acuff from the Albemarle County School Board. I'm told she's watching the program. 5 o'clock Thursday, a press conference on the Albemarle County office building stairs. The rain date is Monday. It's a bipartisan effort. Print, radio, and television is watching my program, our program, extremely closely. My expectation, this will be in the news cycle. Print, radio, and TV that's watching this program, if this isn't in the news cycle by in the next 2 or 3 hours, then goodness gracious, what are you doing? You should be dropping everything to cover this. We'll give attention to Snow's Outdoor Living. Snow's Outdoor Living has more than 100 years of experience proudly serving this community. Snow's Outdoor Living since 1912, 114 years. Snow's Outdoor Living is building a patio, firewall, fire pit, and seating wall, planting some of the most fantastic greenery, flowers, and plants around this patio, fire pit, and seating wall at our home. My wife is straightforward, sometimes difficult to please. She knows what she wants and she sticks to it. She's a proud Irish woman. I love that about her. But with Snow Knows, she's been pleased from the get-go. The communication with the design team, the AI visualer for the project, and Corbin Snow's personnel is just the best of the best. I hope Corbin hears this. Corbin Snow and Snow's Outdoor Living since 1912, proudly serving this community. We'll close with the Sam Sanders video. I didn't even have a chance to talk about, maybe I will briefly, the ultimatum from City Council. A letter has been written to John Dewberry. Bloomberg magazine dubbed him the Emperor of Empty Lots. City Council's written a letter now. Again, put in perspective the letter, Judah. Man, my phone is blowing up right now.
They're basically saying that we've put up with a lot, considering the shape that the building is in, and we've been very patient as a city. And they're essentially saying that that's come to an end. Something needs to be done. You can either continue to build the building or you can sell it.
City Council is not messing around. They've now had the city attorney write a letter. Dude, sell the building. We're not going to tolerate this much more. This is the most aggressive language and posturing I've seen from City Council since Johnny Dewberry, who grew up in Waynesboro, who played quarterback for the Georgia Tech Ramblin' Wreck, who now lives in Atlanta and has a trend or track record of empty lot developing, where he leaves things on the cusp of blight with the hope of garnering tax incentives to get off the schneid, to do something. City Hall and City Council and the city attorney saying, dude, now's the time. Get off the pot.
Yeah.
Letter sent to Dewberry. He's got limited time to respond to said letter. 60
days they're asking for.
60 days. And how about we close with the city manager's video? This is 2026, and in 2026, your top city executive, Sam Sanders, who I saw having lunch this afternoon at Rapture Restaurant, saw Mike Rohde as well. As I was walking the mall prior to the show, I generally walk up and down the mall. Saw Sam having an al fresco lunch. And in 2026, your top city executive needs to get in front of iPhones and on social media to talk about stuff. And that stuff that he talked about with city spokesman Afton Schneider, who I thought Afton was dressed very fashionable. I was very impressed with the fashion-forward sense of the city spokesman. Afton Schneider, really loved the dress you were wearing here. You have fantastic eyewear as well, Afton. I sincerely mean that. Sam Sanders is at Holiday Drive in this video, which we're going to play for you, and we'll exit the show from this video into the credits, Judah. We'll give some attention to Stanley Martin Holmes. We'll give some attention to Conan Owen. Conan Owen is who we contact and who we utilize for anything and everything signage related. Sir Speedy of Central Virginia, from business cards to building signage and from merch to mailings. If you can put a logo on it, Sir Speedy can print it. And Stanley Martin Holmes has built more than 600 homes in the last 2 years in Central Virginia. Stanley Martin Holmes is bringing 50 homes to market in the Fry Springs neighborhood, nearly 80 homes to market outside Glenmore and Keswick. A trusted builder, Stanley Martin Holmes. Stanley Martin Holmes. We'll close with Sam Sanders and Afton Schneider outside Holiday Drive. I want you to look at the magnitude of taxpayer resources that are being allocated here just by the pallets of move-in stuff next to the city manager. I mean, they've spent $6.2 million on the building? Or 6.4?
Something like that.
What's the number, Judah? What's the number? I think it's 6.2, right? 2000 Holiday Drive, Charlottesville. I think it's 6.2. Do you think it's 6.4? What's the number, Judah? What's the number? Any ideas?
I mean, those are pretty close. I'm pretty sure it's one of
6.2 million. 6.2 million. They spent 6.2 million on it. They need another 14 million to make a low barrier shelter where they're going to transition a 27,000 square foot brick Georgian office building that you can see from the bypass into a homeless low barrier shelter that are going to have 80 Coleman sleeping bags and 80 tiny Yeti tumblers to serve the homeless. Before they can spend the $14 million for 80 Coleman sleeping bags and 80 tiny, super tiny Yeti tumblers for the homeless, they wanted to spend another $4 million to build an interim shelter on the long-term shelter. That interim shelter inexplicably is being allocated to an Arizona firm, not in the community. Let's take the taxpayer resources. Let's funnel it to Arizona. It's hot out there. They need some H2O and some air conditioning. Martin Horn is doing the building for the interim shelter. Now Sam Sanders is starring in an Instagram and Facebook reel in response to Johnny Mac McGuire's letter that Judah and I are calling political pomp and circumstance, political optics and window dressing, because he's in a neck-and-neck brouhaha with Tommy Perriello. K Street's finest, Tommy Perriello. Your boy George Soros's buddy, Tommy Perriello. So Johnny Mac says, I need to write a letter going to bat for the businesses locally. And Sam Sanders says, you know what, dog? I'm fighting this game in the battle of social media. We'll close the program encouraging you to sit back as I am right now and watching City Manager Sam Sanders, who makes probably soup to nuts right around $300,000 to lead this fine and fair city, with city spokesman Afton Schneider teeing him up with softball questions. We'll close the show with this. Judah Wickhauer, look at that man. Look at that man. Judah, you kicked some ass today. Judah Wickhauer. Jerry Miller, the water cooler of content and conversation. In 3, 2, 1.
We're at 2000 Holiday Drive, the future home of the Dewberry shelter, first of its kind here in Charlottesville.
Much needed. And what is today?
So today is the beginning of moving in week. So a lot of different things have started to arrive. We have beds and mattresses coming. We have tables and chairs that are needing to be put together and put in place. And we're also going to be working on some nice to haves. You'll see that on the screen here. things that we want to make sure that we can get. So it's a way for the public to be a part of this project as well.
Right, so the priority for us has been getting the space operational so that we can move people in. But obviously, also when you're staying somewhere, it's nice to have some entertainment.
That's right.
So what are some of these items that we'll be looking for?
Entertainment items like TVs, books, and board games.
And while I have you here, we were made aware of a letter yesterday that's floating around social media. What do you have to say about that?
I can basically respond to what I understand the contents of it being about delaying this facility. We're not doing that. It is important for us to continue the priority that we have to serve our unhoused individuals. We have partnered with CAS. They are a seasoned operator, experienced at this work. We have put together a very solid safety plan in regards to operating and serving in this capacity, and we intend to do that beginning next week.
Right, so we don't have any concerns regarding public safety when it comes to 2000 Holiday Drive.
Not at all. I mean, I think we have actually focused on this facility way more than we have any other facility in town. We are looking forward to the facility finally becoming open and available to the public. It is important to all of us to serve individuals well at this facility. We continue to focus on the ladder to self-sufficiency, and it is our priority to make sure that the low-barrier shelter is available as a safe place for people to be, and all services that we can make possible here at this site will be available, and the goal will be to move people to the next rung on that ladder.
And so in your opinion, what is the next rung on that ladder?
Transitional housing is something that we've been talking a lot about. The goal would be to be able to help individuals move to their next place, a place that they can actually stay for an extended period of time, and then on to permanent housing, of course, that they can have a lease and stay as long as they want.
So direct to housing is still something that we are
very much interested in, yes.
Okay, but the focus has just been, our resources have all been going into making sure this is open and ready to accept people.
Everything's been focused here because this has been a lot to try to get done, and as soon as things settle with this, then we'll be able to look at that as an additional option.
All right, City Manager Sanders, thanks for being back on the spot.